I thought a quick PSA might be in order because Gemini season is on our heels, and I can already feel that potent energy just taking hold. So I'm saying PSA as in hold on to your boots because Gemini season, there's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of conversations. Some of them enlightening, some of them inspiring. Some like there's going to be so much communication. There's going to be so many conversations that are going to clear up so many things. And it might trigger. It's going to trigger. There's going to be a lot of triggering. There's going to be a lot. Whether that's with yourself, with your friends, with your family, we will probably see it on a giant collective space. There might be some conflict happening. And how can you work on, perfect, and utilize conflict resolution skills without conflict, And how can a person know that there was an issue with something or, how would I know that I'm affecting somebody negatively if that's never brought towards my attention? And then that gives me the opportunity and choice to say, do I want to speak on that? Do I wish to change my ways? Because, say I care about this person and the way that I'm running my life is affecting this person, say they're my partner, right? So you have options here. If you don't want to change, you don't have to change, but why should you drag another person through the dirt into your hole with you? I don't need to sit in your hole with you. No, 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 no. So that's why these conversations are going to be had, are going to need to be had, because I don't think we want to keep pulling through the baggage. And that's what this whole last 5 years has been about, is unloading the baggage. We've all just been settled with centuries worth of steam luggage, like steam suitcase luggage, the big trunks and the things. And now it's 2025. We don't carry that kind of luggage anymore. We don't need to, and we don't want to. So let's unpack it. Let's unpack that luggage, and let's keep some mementos and heartwarming memories and all that jazz, and definitely keep the knowledge learned and the lessons. But we don't need to keep the bullshit. We don't need to keep the clutter. Oh, there's a show, whether it's on Prime or Netflix, because it just came into my head because I watched 1842 or some kind of year date is the name of the show, and it's based on basically the Oregon Trail. And at the beginning of the show, it's a bunch of, I want to say that they were Dutch or German, but they were foreign to the new land of North America, or the Americas, right? So they wanted to do the Oregon Trail. They wanted to go from one space to the other to stake their claim and make their fortune and, do their thing. So they hire trail blazers or trail bosses to help move them there, right? And it must have been a parallel business, because there was cattle to be moved at the same time, which makes sense because cattle were being moved and roamed across all the lands of the country at the time. So it just makes sense. I could take an extra herd of people with my herd of cattle, right? So they find their lead and all his help and a cook, and then they set off on this Oregon Trail, right? And the guy told them at the very beginning, only bring what you need. Bring your essentials. Don't worry about the rest. Bring your essentials. So they get to their very first big crossing, like a river crossing, and they have to take the wagons and the horses and the cows and everything across this river. And although the river didn't look that wide, to cross, and it didn't really seem all that treacherous, it kind of looked like a stream from the way that the TV show was doing their thing in that aspect. So when they started traveling across it, the one person went through on their horse, and yeah, as soon as the horse went in, it the water went right up to the horse's shoulder. So that's pretty deep. So they're, okay, this is what we're going to do. They formulated a plan. They start pulling everybody across. And of course, chaos ensues. Some of the wagons topple over, some of the things, blah, blah. By the time they get to the other side and they have salvaged everything and anything that they can salvage, they look and they realize how much extra stuff these travelers had brought with them, which totally understandable. they left their home, they came to a new space, and this was all they had left of them, was their mementos and their memories, and, you know, the things that they were going to use to stabilize and secure themselves in their new life. But they couldn't take it with them. It was too much. It was too heavy. They had like tables and chairs and pianos and, you know, all these things, which again, wonderful thing. But when you're crossing the Badlands and waters and treacherous stuff, you don't want to be hauling a piano across that stuff. Like, yes, it was my grandfather's piano, and it was a Dorofsky piano or whatever, you know, some big name piano. But at the end of the day, if what your goal is to get to point B, from point A to point B alive, and the piano might hinder that, you know, that aspect, the being alive aspect, well then, yeah, it's time to let go of the piano. Actually, I've been talking to a friend of mine along that same line of, I call it my broccoli casserole space, and I'm gonna probably write a book and it'll be my memoirs, and I'll call it broccoli casserole, because I love broccoli casserole. It is like literally my number one favorite meal. If I were to die, like, you know, prison death last meal thing, and they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, broccoli casserole, just give me a big old pot of it. I can't eat it. Like, I can smell it, it smells so good, I can be near it, but I can't eat it, because if I eat more than 2 spoonfuls of broccoli casserole, my digestive tract just starts going crazy, and then I'm in agony for hours afterwards. So though I love it so much, is it worth the agony and the pain that I feel in the present time by making myself eat it? You know what I mean? So now I just sit with the loving memories of it, as in, like, I can picture it, I can smell it, I can still taste it. It reminds me of my mom, it reminds me of Thanksgiving, it reminds me of Christmas, it reminds me of my sister-in-law. It reminds, like, that meal brought so much love to the table. It was literally love in a casserole dish. But I don't have to physically imbibe it, because I have all these memories with it and all these good times with it, and I remember the taste and all the things. So I think that's what Gemini season is going to be all about, is letting go of the pianos and understanding that we can love broccoli casserole from afar and not eat it, you know, and be good with that, and still live a really good life at the end of the day. Still be able to make it to point B, make it to Oregon, purchase a new piano, buy a new piano, take up the maracas. You know what I mean? There's always options. So at the end of the day, it is always your choice, because it is your life. Thanks. Have a great day.